Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Mitz from Level Up Bassin. I have a quick video tonight. We're going to just basically do a quick overview of how to go from a battery to an inverter to a light. I have a second video scheduled which is going to go a little more in depth, but I wanted to get this first video done for the basics and then we'll add on. So as always, if you're not comfortable with dealing with some of this, please consult a manual or a professional. Just be smart about things. A 12-volt battery and cabling and all that good stuff is enough to hurt you and also damage equipment. If you like the video, please leave a comment below, like and subscribe. It really does help out and allows us to make more content for you. What ended up happening was we had a storm roll through and we lost power. Now, generally what happens is I either take time to bust out the gas generator and then hook everything up, surge protectors and so on and so forth. And often the power just comes back on in 10 or 15 minutes, so I don't need to go that route. So I have a pretty basic setup that I like to use, and I think you might like it as well. I'll link to everything below. This is just a quick overview and an easy way to get things done. First, you need a battery, and this is a lithium iron phosphate battery from Epoch Batteries. It's a huge component of this setup because what it's able to do is monitor everything that's plugged into it, and through a Bluetooth app, show you the voltage, the wattage, and the amperage being used, as well as how much is left in the battery. That's huge. You basically know if you can run lights for all night or run them a little at a time, so on and so forth. Next, you need an inverter. The inverter is basically what takes the DC current from the battery and converts it to AC current for, we'll call this the household appliance. And yes, I stole it from the dining room. You have to understand a little bit about watts and amps and volts and all that good stuff, but not a ton, because you want to size your inverter to your project. I was just doing a couple of LEDs which have a very low draw. My TV is a flat screen, it has a very low draw, and I was running it off an antenna. So it really, not much was going on, and I was barely using any of the juice that this inverter can put out. This guy right here is just a 750 watt inverter. If you want to figure out your draw, you can actually do a simple equation. It's volts times amps equals watts. That'll get you in the ballpark of what you're doing. Most of your devices will have a label on it and you can do that simple math. So size your inverter to what you're trying to do. This one is a 3000 watt inverter, and it's also a 24 volt. So I would actually need two batteries or one 24 volt battery to run this, but in turn it has more output and it can handle more devices. To keep this video simple and stage one, we're just going to use the smaller inverter. Depending on which one you're using, and this again is the basic video, basic inverter, there's just a positive and negative, red and black. General rule of thumb, obviously, red is positive, black is negative. Always keep that in line. You do not want to cross them. You don't want to tap the wires. You can short out your devices and it can get very expensive and you can get hurt. So the other thing about cables is generally a cheap inverter or a less expensive inverter is going to come with cheap cables. You really want to make sure that you have solid ends, good connections, and good cables. They are integral to your equipment running safely and smoothly. If you undersize wire, it's going to create heat and you're going to have issues. You can melt cables, cause a lot of problems. I'm usually not a fan of alligator clips, but for my quick setup, I use it. And again, it's only a temporary setup for small devices. So, inverter in the off position, most important to start that way. Connect the red cable to the red side and the black cable to the black side. You want to make sure they're tightened down, not over tightened, but firm. That's important. Then what I do is I make sure my battery is labeled properly and I have a red terminal and a black terminal. I connect the red to positive, I tap the black, then I clip the negative. I'll then go to the inverter, I'll power it on. It'll go through its little boot up, and that's really about it. So now I can take the household appliance, plug it in, I can turn it on, and I have power. It's as simple as that. Through the Bluetooth app, I can monitor my drawdown, I can add more devices, and I can stay out of the dark. So again, quick and easy, simple setup, just about anybody can do it. I'll link to everything down below. Keep an eye open for the second video. What we're going to do is we're going to introduce a solar panel, a solar charge controller, this same type of setup, but we're going to go to the next level. If the storm lasts and you have to remain on battery, you're going to have to charge it again. Introducing a solar panel is the easiest fix for the next day. Thanks for watching. Mitz from Level Up Bassin. Like and subscribe. It helps the channel. Have a good one.